It used to be easy for parents to monitor what their children watched or were exposed to. With the explosion of technology, mobile devices, high-speed internet, and a mountain of pornographic material being produced, there seemed to be virtually no barrier between men and women of all ages and the availability of porn. According to psychotherapists, this exposure is a serious issue as it can present the viewer with a false image of sexuality. For many people, their understanding of sexuality is what they see online and through other forms of media. Experts say it can create a distorted vision of intimacy, making it nearly impossible to maintain a healthy romantic relationship. Pornography addiction is not in the DSM or the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders. This material is published by the American Psychiatric Association in order to help doctors clarify and treat mental disorders. The latest version was published in 2013, and it notably did not include pornography addiction due to conflicting research and opinion regarding its addictive nature. For our discussion, we will consider pornography as a real candidate for addiction. Porn addiction, just as any other addiction, is not something you can simply quit. Like most addictions, pornography goes beyond mere habit and becomes a chemical addiction involving the brain's pleasure and reward centers, being activated as porn is being watched. Porn addiction has actually been compared to heroin addiction because of how difficult it is to break. Breaking out of this addiction is very difficult to do by oneself without some form of professional help. Unlike alcoholism or drug addiction, there is much more shame associated with porn addiction. Pornography addiction can be undetectable when you compare it to other forms of addiction. This makes porn addiction a disastrous doorway, resulting in damage to your life, your relationships, and your family. Pornography affects the brain in the same way that eating disorders and other kinds of addiction do. They share the same neurological repercussions. The pressures of real-life routines, relationships, unfulfilling workplaces, difficult family dynamics are a catalyst for a lot of people falling into a dependency that makes them extremely vulnerable to the intense highs offered by the content of pornographic videos and images. There are inherent dangers associated with porn addiction, just as any other form of addiction. Porn addiction desensitizes the user, and as time goes on, he or she starts to crave more and more. Someone who starts out with just a little erotic and softcore content begins to crave something more hardcore, and this can actually degenerate into a desire to play out these fantasies in real life with unwilling partners, which can sometimes have a violent outcome. According to statistics on this subject, 20% of men admit to accessing porn at work, and 13% of women admit to the same. 40 million U.S. adults regularly visit porn sites. 10% of adults admit to porn addiction, and 17% of women suffer porn addiction. Breaking a porn addiction is not easy, but there are ways to overcome this type of addiction. Here are 5 suggestions that may help. Acknowledge the problem. Avoid excessive alone time and idleness. Engage in meaningful activities. Strengthen your support network. Find resources and educate yourself. For more information concerning the subject of addiction, please contact us at the Institute for Addiction Study. Our link is in the description.